Well, let's go on to our next story here. And what I'd like to do is I would like to introduce someone who's been on the show many times before. Great friend of mine, co-owner of New Concepts Management, also is president of our contracting company, Start to Finish Contracting. I want to welcome to the lines and where you live, Len Hovde. Good morning, Len.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Hey, Len, I've always appreciated your common sense and your wisdom. And we have been talking about a lot of things that'll go on from time to time, how people think, how people react. And I think you've got just a lot of wisdom, and I want our listeners to know about this. And I've created, folks, a new regular feature on Where You Live, and it's going to be called The Psychology of HOA Living with Leonard the Plumber. And folks, for the first time, we're going to play the new intro to this new segment, The Psychology of HOA Living with Leonard the Plumber.
I deserve to break the HOA rules from time to time. I am entitled to my share of work being done around my home. I refuse to beat myself up, but I will to the HOA board. I have an attractive home. I am fun to be with.
Leonard Hovde is a caring nurturer. He is not a member of several 12-step programs. He is not a licensed therapist. He is, however, a licensed plumber. Leonard is going to have a terrific show today. He is going to help people because he is good enough, smart enough, and doggone it, he likes people. Here is Leonard the Plumber.
What do you think, Len? I think it's got some promise, don't you think?
Yes. I think that's a great foundation to build off.
Yes, it's something. So, folks, when you begin to hear that music, and from time to time, we're going to be talking about the psychology of HOA living. And, Len, you've got a story that you told me earlier this week. Tell our listeners about what happened. A woman in her townhome association, right?
Well, what happened? First off, that music reminds me of the Twilight Zone, and sometimes I feel like that when I get involved with these requests for work. We got a call from a person who will go unnamed gender-wise, and they had called and said, "Oh, I need my gas connected." The line was clipped by the landscapers, and this isn't so uncommon for us to get a few of those calls a year at townhome associations. And the person went on to explain that the gas had been clipped back in early July, and here we are at the end of July, and well, what's going on? Well, I didn't realize it, but the gas company was called, and they turned the gas off, locked the meter out, and they put a notice on my door back on July 3rd. And okay. Well, I didn't find the notice until today, and now I got to have the gas turned on.
And what was today?
Emergency.
And when was the today that she found out?
Just a day or two ago.
So
let's say the 24th.
Okay.
And so she'd gone for at least a full couple of weeks. This person had gone for at least a full couple of weeks, and not doing anything about it. But then as soon as she found out that, this is going to be somebody else's expense, it was an emergency, and you got to get out here today.
Okay, so we've got a person who is without gas for 2 to 3 weeks. And at first she thinks, it might be her responsibility, something that she would have to do, and she's okay with it. Now, all of a sudden, she finds out and figures out what happened, and she says, hey, you got to get out here right away.
You got to get here right now. Now it's an emergency. Now that I'm not paying for it, you got to get out here. Now, I'm putting those words into their mouth, but when you put it all together, that's what's happening. Yeah, and it's just amazing that people, when they think someone else is going to pay for something, they not only want it now, but they want the best, and no expenses should be spared.
No expense spared, especially when it's coming from my HOA. Well, hey, let's talk about this a little more. Looking by the clock, I've got to take a quick break. Right now, Len, can you stay with us for another segment?
Sure, absolutely.
Folks, The Psychology of HOA Living with Leonard the Plumber, our first issue dealing with homeowner intolerance. More after these messages.